All right, everybody, welcome to episode 184 of the This Week in Refereeing Decisions review. Eric here in Overland Park, Kansas. Ped in Old Swan, Liverpool. Of course, it's not. It's not that. It is the Followtonians. Although it seems like anymore, every single match, we just have to talk more and more about the referees. This week, it's Mr. Andre Mariner.
That guy sucks.
And that pretty much wraps up the Man City match. I am still completely dumbfounded in the three big huge decisions in that match.
Where do you start? Where do you start?
Well, start with a studs into the back of Samuel Eto'o, probably. I think we should start there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you come into a big game. You've just come off the back of a disappointing result at Hull. You know things are going to have to go for you, or certainly not go against you in a game like this. And what happens? First thing that happens, controversial moment, and 6 studs in the back of Samuel Eto'o's back, and what happens? It's a dodgy yellow card because the referee never seen it. When it really should have been a certain red card.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, it's absolutely 100% straight red. There's no way to justify anything other than a sending off. I don't care if it's early on in the match. I don't care if it completely ruins the atmosphere of the game. You go into a header with your foot above your opponent's waist that's jumping 3 feet off the ground. There's no reason for the leg to be up in the air there, let alone make contact in the back of an opponent.
None whatsoever, Eric. There's no reason for his foot to be there, and to plant it as high as he did into the back was just disgusting, to be honest. And it's a you see a lot of sort of controversial decisions or things that look out of place, but that was a red card because it simply shouldn't happen on a football pitch. That shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Right, but how is it not seen? Because the contact in the back is made at the exact same moment that Eto'o heads the ball that is in play. It's where you should be looking. Someone should be looking there. Someone should be saying, okay, there's where the ball is. There's where the play is happening. The header is made by the defensive player, and the attacking player has got his foot in the small of his back.
It's madness, and you know what? I don't think he did see it properly, and Mangala has got very, very lucky. And the worst thing is that he didn't really see it. So really, he shouldn't have booked him. And if he hadn't have booked him, then the FA may have re-looked at it and handed like a 3-match ban to Mangala, and maybe
which I think is just BS, anyways. Because if a ref gets the call wrong to begin with, why can't somebody fix that?
Well, that was supposed to be the rule. That rule was supposed to be getting changed, but it doesn't seem to have been changed. They're saying now the referee decisions that referees made can't be changed, but they should be made. And Andre Mariner has been quietly pushed away to, I think, League One for this week.
Two tiers down.
Where really he shouldn't be. He should be, he should be brought out in front of the public and given a public execution. Oh yeah, flog.
Can Eto'o kick him in the small of his back?
Maybe so, but unfortunately, it isn't going to change.
No. What's unfortunate is that isn't the only instance of high boot in this match. That
dun.
Because all of a sudden, Gareth Barry's going up for a header, and instead of meeting the ball, he gets some leather across the chin.
Yeah, from who was it? It was Fernando, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. I don't
see. Listen, with this one, I am more likely to be a bit more apologetic to the player, but only just because it was more in a football context. So, but it was still really, really bad. It was still really, really bad. it just
What's
compounded
the
things.
difference between that and kicking out at someone's ankle? It's what it is it's someone's head. That's the difference. It's someone's head. I mean, he makes contact with Gareth Barry's freaking face.
No, it was really really poor, really really poor. I don't know. I really don't know where to start. It just the you people spoke since this game and said, well, the decision shouldn't hide how we played. Now we didn't play too well on the day. We looked on our last legs. Some players looked really really poor. The likes of Gareth Barry looked very very tired. But
I thought you were going to say out of it, and it was probably because he had a
yeah.
concussion.
Well, at the end of the day, big decisions change games, and the fact that Man City went down to 10 men, would have been a big game changer.
Yeah,
So
or
therefore,
9.
Regardless of what people think, of whether people think that, there should have been a sending off or not, they should have been down to 10 men, and regardless of whether Everton, how Everton played, to win the game would have been a lot easier with Man City having 10 men, and that's what they deserve to have. And then, what happens? The world conspires against us, and we go behind in the game due to a refereeing decision.
Yeah. Last time I checked, shoulder charges within playing distance of the ball was not a foul.
Well, I will slightly disagree with you on shoulders to shoulder. There was leg to leg contact, and some people do think this was a penalty. I just didn't think it was a penalty personally. I don't think Milner was necessarily looking for it. I just think
and I think he was kind of shocked that it got blown for a penalty at first. I think the whistle was called. He figures it's a goal kick, that it's gone out for a goal kick, and then he looks and sees that Mariner's pointing to the spot, and the look on his face wasn't exactly like shock, but it wasn't like, I know that's a penalty. Hey, ref, call it. Yes, it was a penalty. Celebratory kind of thing. It was more of like, wow, he gave that.
I think what won it for them was the fact that Milner touched the ball to the side and not necessarily forward. I think if he pushed it forward, I think the referee would have just given a goal kick. But I think it's because he pushed it away from Jagielka to the side that's why the referee has given a penalty, because he's almost feels like Milner was in possession of the ball going in the opposite direction, and that's why he give the penalty. I think if Milner had pushed it forward, he would have just said he'd lost control of it.
Well, the fact that he pushed it to the left and his body motion was going to the right until he ran into Jagielka, yeah, I think he ran into Jagielka. I don't think Jagielka ran into him, but he was going to fall over towards the right, and his body motion was going towards the right. So the fact that he touched the ball to the left, he was never going to get back to that.
I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think it was a penalty. I think we've been done over there, and it wasn't a great performance, but we've been beaten by one single penalty, which is really disappointing. But as I said, it wasn't a great performance anyway. We looked so slow and laboured.
One shot by Lukaku
one shot, second half, which sort of proves again that look, you give Lukaku chances, he'll hit the target. But as I mentioned there, Gareth Barry was really, really poor for that goal. He gave the ball away so easily on the edge of the box. It was so poor. It was like a little reverse pass that he didn't even look, and it was just outside the edge of the box, and that's what led directly to the goal. And he just looked off it all game. And which was really, really, it was sad, because it was a game that you really wished you could have just left them out, because he looks tired. He looks like he hasn't fully recovered from the injury, and it was a day where Man City didn't really have to play too well to beat us, and that's more the sad thing. And we just lacked energy, and we lacked the players, and it looked like we had caught up with the likes of Barry and Distan, and Yeah.
I remember either before the game started or during the game, you sent out a message on Twitter that Howard's probably going to save a penalty in this game and make me eat crow, and he guessed correctly, got really close to the shot by Toure, but I mean it was well taken,
But he
and
made Tim Howard actually made one
great effort.
He made one good save as well, which was a really good save. I mean, one swallow doesn't make a summer, but it was a really good save. But we looked tired. If we had anything about us, we probably could have beat Man City on the day, because once Aguero had gone off, there was a sense of shock around the ground, and we had to seize upon that, and we just never got going. And our big players never really got into it. And again, it was one of those games where it felt like people were crowbarred into positions because there's such a lack of numbers at the moment. But what can you do? Hopefully that was the sort of low point of this time at the moment with injuries, because hopefully, Alcaraz is on the bench, and Oviedo and Kone are coming back, and hopefully Naismith will come back, and McCarthy will come back within the next couple of weeks. So hopefully that was sort of like the real low point. Barry got booked, so he's out of the QPR game. But that might not necessarily be a bad thing. That might mean that a couple of changes are forced on Roberto Martinez, and that mightn't be a terrible thing.
Yeah, hopefully it's the low point of our refereeing displays in Everton matches as well, because
no, I don't think
we've had some bad ones. I mean, it's really getting ridiculous, the fact that I know so many referees' names that's the takeaway from some of these matches, is that the first thing that we feel like we need to talk about is Andre Mariner. It's sad. It's really, really just sad, and I want to start a podcast and not moan and whine about the referee, win or lose, because the Villa match was horrible, but hey, we won. So, oh well. 1-0, we lost to Man City at Man City, and
let's get off this. Let's get off it.
Okay, let's move on to Krasnodar.
Woo.
So, we won our group last match.
Yeah.
We have a friendly, essentially, in early December against a Russian side who brings 14 fans, and they get hospitality. You see that?
It's great, isn't it?
Everton puts up their 14 fans in an executive suite because, hey, you've come all the way from Russia. There's only 14.
They probably hadn't. They probably come from like London.
Right. Yeah. But that's just awesome. And
fair play to the club.
Yeah. Well done to Everton on that. But it's very much a reserved squad. In every sense of the meaning of it. Barry is in there. Pinar is the captain.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a lot of players that haven't seen much time with the first team, or haven't seen any time with the first team.
No, they hadn't, and especially the bench was full
younger
of kids. Just the whole thing was full of. Can I just say one thing? This goes to the club. If you're gonna have a game where you're gonna have a lot of kids playing, on the back of the program, can you please include them in the squad lists? Because obviously, while the game's going on and you're trying to see who these players are, you can only see the numbers really, and then you look at the back of the program and they're not on there. So
there were no stats or anything on Gethin Jones or anything?
Well, all I wanted was the back of the program to have, the squad list, and I wanted these kids to be on there.
The name of the people that are going to be playing?
Yeah, the name of these kids weren't on the back, so that would really help next time, Everton. Thank you very much.
Maybe just like stickers so that you could like put it on the back after the squad was announced.
That would have really helped. Thank you for that. listen, we knew as soon as we won at Wolfsburg it was going to be a massively reduced team. We knew this. We knew this as soon as they said the tickets were going to be £12. Let's be honest.
Yeah, which is really, and as bad as the league has been for us this year, the results so far in the first 15 matches, to be able to win the group that we were in with a game in hand is really telling, either to how horrible Lille is, or how well we actually handled business up until that point.
Well, I think he made it the number one priority, if I'm honest. And fair play, that's what his number one priority was. Then that's fair enough. No problem with that. He went into the Wolfsburg home game, the first game in the group, and he said, right, this is what we're going to do. He put his strongest team out there, and he got the game won. We were fortunate on the night, but we got the game won. He went to Wolfsburg away again, and he done the same thing. He put the strongest team out possible and said, we're going to get the group one here tonight. He put a team out in Lille that was basically there to get a draw. He went to Krasnodar, and we rode our luck, but we got a draw out of it, and they were perfect results. So we qualified from the group. We go to this game, and the reward is that he can rest most of his first team squad, and that's ideal, absolutely brilliant. But at the same time, what was perfect about this game was it was allowing certain players to come into the team and see what they were all about, and also, the kids, and so you can look at kids and say, who's going to develop and who's not. And that's what was perfect about tonight. Okay, it wasn't a brilliant spectacle. It wasn't.
But it's never going to be.
No, it was never going to be. It wasn't brilliant attendance.
It was never promoted to be.
No, it wasn't brilliant attendance. The weather was shocking. Hardcore Blues were there tonight. Obviously, local ones, and hard for people from other areas to come with with everything. So we knew what we were in for, and it was a mixed bag. Let's just say it was a mixed bag. There was some disappointing things. Atsu having to go off after 11 minutes. I mean, that kid can't get a break, can he? His first game.
Well, he's going to get a break now.
Well, it was a good ball by Barry, actually, and what happened was he sort of let it go across his body, and then it skipped off the surface because it was very, very wet. And he stretched to try and keep it in, and he's done his hamstring while he stretched. Now, really, he should have just controlled it, but what he probably thought was, if I let this go into the space, I'm away with my pace. Didn't quite happen. He ends up going off injured. Dahl came on for him and actually played quite well. But if I talk about the obviously the players who are first team players, Pienaar came in, struggled first half really for fitness, but I thought he settled down second half, and I thought he did okay. A lot of people writing him off already, but Pienaar's the kind of player who needs to be fully fit, and in the all of this season, he's picked up one niggly injury after the next, and he's actually made to get himself fit. So the fact that he played 90 minutes is really good tonight. Oviedo, again, another player coming back from injury. He's been out for the best part of 10, 11 months now, hasn't he? Yeah, nearly a year. So fantastic for him. He played, obviously, reserve game last week, so fantastic that he got 90 minutes. He did okay. He had to play in a bit of a strange position, but it was the fact that he got a run out. And Kone, again, a player who's been out for a year. He's been suffering from he's come back earlier in the season, and he just hasn't been comfortable. A lot of people felt like he might actually be finished, but tonight he did really, really well, to be honest. He had a couple of chances on goal, a couple of good strikes. His hold-up play was quite good. His back to the goal, and who knows, he could be a valuable asset. He's got a different style from our other strikers, so really, really good to see him get 90 minutes. And these players are putting themselves in there when we really, really need players to go into the squad. Obviously, Alcaraz, again, he played 90 minutes. He's
at centre half.
He's playing. That's the main thing. He's playing. Barry played alongside him. Barry was fantastic, to be honest. He played really, really well.
Of course he did.
But I felt a bit strange that Barry played, but with
that's
him,
because he's suspended on the weekend and we don't have a midweek match.
I also thought that maybe he may just leave him out because he needs the rest, but he decided to play him. That's fair enough. Luke Garber played at left back. He was excellent. He was really, really good. He's like a he's almost like a carbon copy of Baines. His free kicks, his crosses, and his corners especially. His corners he's the best corner taker at the club. Which isn't that hard, but his corners are fantastic. He needs to be signed up on a new contract because he is a really, really good player. Ryan Ledson, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, on the Garbett situation, is that something that you could see a future where Baines might play in front of him, or are they too similar and then they would get in each other's way?
I don't know. I don't think Baines could play in front of him. I mean, there's been talk in the last 6 months that Baines might move to centre midfield and almost do what Barry does. I don't know, but what I would say about Garbett is that I've seen him twice and he's been excellent twice. You look back at the West Ham game when Tony Hibbert played left back, and you're thinking, well, could Garbett have played that day? You look at Spurs away as well last week and think, could Garbett have played that game? Did Baines come back too early? There are times in the season where Baines doesn't need to play every single game, because there are some players in our squad that are, seem to play every single game till they literally break. And Baines, there are times when you could leave him out, and plus he's just turned 30. You want competition, you want him to be pushed, and I think it'd be a very, very strange move if we let Luke Garbett leave the club. But on the other side, Luke Garbett might be thinking, well, there's a really, really excellent left back there, and there's no, maybe I haven't been considered, so maybe it might be time to move on. And he is that good a player that I think he could easily stay in the Premier League. Of the young players, Ryan Ledson played centre midfield. Now, been a lot of talk about Ryan Ledson, and first half he looked a little bit nervous at times, give away a couple of sloppy passes, but overall his passing was excellent. And in the second half, I think he had 100% pass rate. What impressed me about him is he always wanted the ball. He kept on going back to Barry and Alcatraz and asking for the ball, trying to get it off the two players at the back. Always wants the ball, always in and about, trying to move, and does a solid thing in front of them. So really impressed by him. Overall, it was a decent display. Negatives, Conor McAleny, and he's not a negative for me as such, but he didn't really stand out. Okay, he got moved out of position when Atsu went off, and he had to play a little bit wider. But this is a lad who's actually older than Lukaku. He's had really bad injury setbacks.
Yeah, double leg breaks, and just
this is a kid who you want to see them do well, and you want to see them push on. But you know what? I mean, I remember when we had James Vaughan, and James Vaughan was scoring goals and looked at such a good player, but he kept on getting injured, and he could never catch a break, and he's ended up carving out a decent career, in the Championship and League One. Now this kid doesn't
tweets about Everton constantly.
Yeah, but this kid doesn't look as good as James Vaughan, and if he hasn't pushed through yet, I don't really know when he'll push through. And a couple of people said to me tonight on Twitter, well, you're being a bit harsh on him. Listen, it's not about being harsh. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I just don't see how he's going to push himself into the first team squad. I just don't see how he's going to do it. He's not big. He's not dramatically fast. He doesn't. I don't know. He looks like a player that needs to go down a level to come back up a level. Do you know what I mean? Which we've seen already with players that have left Everton. We've seen players drop down a couple of divisions and then pop back up and do very well for themselves. They just need to get playing, and I think that's what he needs to do. So we'll wait and see on that one, but it'll be interesting to see how his career is. Joel Robles. Listen,
not good enough.
We've been saying over the last few weeks about Tim Howard. And I always said, and people might want to, they'll disagree with me, or they'll say that I didn't say this, but I've consistently said over the last few weeks, play him in the Krasnodar game, and if he has a good game, maybe there's potential to leave him in there.
Did he have a good game, Ped?
Do you know what? Right, he made one mistake, but it was for the goal. So he made a good save early on with his face. Then
Who
Now,
can't save something with
it
their
doesn't matter if he
fist?
didn't say. It doesn't matter where he saved it. He got his angles right and made a good save. But the goal was poor. I mean, it was a ball over the top. It was Barry didn't step up and left the man on side. Pienaar didn't track him. He got through. Now, Robles came out, and it looked like he was gonna stay big with him or go down and try and get the ball, but he didn't. And the guy turns, and Robles he looks at his post, which was the weird thing. He looked at his post, and then takes a step away from his post. As soon as he took the step, the guy just wraps it into the goal, and Robles has almost got his back to him and like looks and thinks, say, where am I? He just didn't know where he was in the goal, or he wasn't expecting the guy to put it there. Now, as a goalkeeper, he should be protecting that post at all times and make it really, really hard for the striker to wrap it into the other corner. Because if he wraps it into the other corner, he's done really, really well. So Robles made it very, very easy. He's made a couple of good. You know what? His distribution's actually quite good. His kicking's really, really good.
So that must have been improved since the last time he's been. His distribution previously has been very suspect.
But his kicking was really good. He can actually take like long kicks out of his hands and hit feet. Distribution was really, really good. And there was a time second half when one of their players got through, and the player sort of like run into the box with the ball, and Robles, instead of like set himself, he sort of followed them, and the guy really could have put it anywhere and ended up putting it wide. It was very, very strange. So on this performance, Robles is not going to get into the first team, and it's made my mind up that we very much need a new goalkeeper because, if I haven't got too much faith in my number one, but if you haven't got faith in your number two, then, there really does need to be a new goalkeeper coming into the club at some point. Ruddy's been mentioned this week. Now, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything in that, but I'm glad there are some rumours maybe because I do generally think we need a new goalkeeper because it's... and also, Tim Howard doesn't know how to spell Gladys. He doesn't know how to spell Gladys in Gladys Street, or his ghostwriter doesn't. So that for me is second strike. Sorry for Tim Howard. So, but no, it was
first strike is the beard, of course.
No, just his performances. But it was one of them tonight. There was nothing to lose. Lots of people impressed. Some people didn't impress, but you can sort of say, well, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. And I thought he did well. I thought apart from a soft goal, we were unlucky to lose. So
yeah. So the group ends with us on 11 points, winning the group. Wolfsburg on 10 points, second place. Third place, Krasnodar, 6 points, mostly because we gave them 4 of those 6, and then Lille finishes on 4. So at the beginning of the draw, we're thinking, man, Wolfsburg and Lille, those are some two teams that could really challenge us, and Lille falls flat, and we do the business against Wolfsburg, and that's what it was.
Certainly was.
Draw is on the 15th for the knockout stages, round of 32. A couple of teams that we cannot meet up with, one of being Liverpool and Tottenham and Wolfsburg. Those 3 sides of the unseeded 16 teams we cannot meet up with. Who of the others that are there would you want to see or not want to see? I can run through them real quick. It's Villarreal, Torino, Celtic, PSV, Dnipro, Sevilla, Young Boys, Augsburg, Guingamp, Trabzonspor, Anderlecht, Ajax, and Roma. Who do you want? Who do you not want?
I'd like Celtic.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I'd like Celtic.
I personally, I don't think we want any Italian team at all. I just don't think that's a good matchup for Everton.
To be honest, I'm not too worried. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. I'd like know what I'd like? I would like it. I'd tell you why. I would like it. I'd like, and this might sound stupid because we all would like an easy team, but I would like a ridiculously easy team in the next round. And I'll tell you why I would like a ridiculously easy team, because we've just done a group stage where it's one game at a time. Now we're going on to two-legged affairs. Now this is something different. This is something very, very different. This is a new thing. This will be a new thing for the team. This will be a new thing for Roberto Martinez. It's not as straightforward. We will go away first. We will have to have the tactics right for going away first to come back to Goodison Park. So I would like someone easy, obviously, to be able to put that into practice.
Yep.
So,
away leg is on 19th February. Home leg is on 26th February.
So that's what I'd like. So we'll wait and see. I mean, we'd like someone easy. Let's, push it on and keep going. And as I say, someone like Celtic would be fantastic, because that would that would be a fantastic draw to have. But I'm not sort of worrying about who we get too much, because we've gone through the beginning experience. We've played difficult matches in difficult circumstances, and so let's just wait and see who we get, and not be too worried either way.
Sounds good. Let's take a break. Whenever we come back, we'll talk to David Kurtz of Everton USA.
We've already spoke to David Kurtz. If you would like to listen to that interview, you'll have to download the podcast, I'm afraid.
Oh, too bad. Just have to listen to it twice.
Cool. Let's go.
Where are we going?
To the next part of the show.
QPR at home.
Let's do it. 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 Come on. Come on.
Trying. Audacity is being a pain in the behind. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Go.
All right, we're back on Followtonians. Also, during the break, you may have heard an interview with Landon Donovan. Thanks to Sophie Nicolau for getting us that audio. Much appreciated. She, big friend of the podcast. We talk to her about Arsenal all the time. And she had the opportunity to ask Landon a question and thought of us and got his take on his time at Everton. So that was really great. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Nice. Great.
But you just completely shocked me by saying that's where the audio is going to be. I thought we were going to discuss it, but don't worry about it.
Now we're discussing it.
You
right
set your own rules. You go by the beat of your own drum. You do that.
The seat of my pants, head.
Yeah.
So, Landon, last match. He's done. No more chance for him to come back to Everton as a player.
I don't agree.
Would you have him back right now?
As a player, yes. I've watched him at the end of the season. He's been great.
Yeah.
Being revitalised by the fact that he's retiring. Basically, it's like someone said to him, "You're retiring." He's like, "But yes, is right. I'm just going to throw everything into my last few games." So cool.
Yeah.
Good luck to him. I don't think he'll be retired too long, but
You think he's going to play again?
I think he'll come back. Yeah. I think he just needed. I think when he was away on his long break, there was too much pressure for him to come back. And I think he felt the pressure of needing to come back to play in the World Cup. He got it all completely wrong. Come back, played in the Gold Cup for America, then was left out of the World Cup when he actually was needed this year, and it was really, really stupid decision by Jurgen Klinsmann. It felt like a little bit of revenge for him leaving, and now he sort of made the decision, well, I'm going to walk away completely, because there is not another World Cup for obviously 4 years, and that's sort of like the pinnacle of his career. And he probably feels like he is too old to come to the Premier League, whereas I don't think he is. I think he could easily come to Everton and do a job, because I think he's physically he is still capable, but I think he's put a lot of things down to his state of mind more than anything. He said he suffers with depression and things like that, and you can't argue with that. That he's made a really good decision by walking away from football.
Yeah, the best thing to get over depression is Liverpool's winners.
Best thing for depression.
Oh wait,
but
I think I got that wrong.
But I think what he'll do is he'll go away and he will have a lot of time on his hands, and he'll probably do TV work and things like that. Now, listen, he may just say, "Oh, I love this. It's great. I like doing all this." They might send him over to England to do some games, for the Premier League and stuff like that. And he might go, "Fantastic." But I've just got a feeling that he might go, "Do you know what? I'm actually back around football and I miss playing." So we'll wait and see. I still think he's got something to offer. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I would like to see him keep playing. I definitely think that he has a lot to offer, and I know he could get into the Everton squad.
Mm-hmm. While we're on the American theme, let's just stick with the American theme, Eric, before we move on to QPR.
Why not? I mean,
we'll finish with
David Kurtz and Everton USA, and we got Landon Donovan, and what else do you want to talk about, Ped?
Well, let's talk about this deal Everton have signed this week with Gold TV.
That's not really American now, is it? Because
it is American.
It's in America, but it's Spanish.
Well, then it's American, isn't it? Well, it's American, isn't it?
Nobody gets it. Nobody gets the channel, Ped.
This is why I'm asking you. Why have Everton this week signed a deal to go on a Spanish language football channel in America to show delayed full matches with before game and after game, chitter chatter? I mean, explain to me.
Because that's the only channel that is willing to pay Everton for content.
But why though?
I don't know.
Why would they want it? I mean, I think they've got Everton, is it, and Benfica?
Yes, yeah, those were the two that were announced this week, that they were going to be able to rebroadcast on delay all and any matches, and they would also produce original programming or have original programming produced for the channel Gold TV, which I can get on DirecTV. I can add it to my package, my current package, for like $20 a month, because I would have to pay for the Spanish language tier of channels. But not only that, Ped, it's only in standard definition. It wouldn't even be in HD.
Yes, slumming it.
So $20 a month for standard definition delayed broadcasts of Everton matches. I've got NBC Sports and a DVR.
So tell me this.
I'm okay.
Tell me this. Why do you think they think that we are such a big draw?
I don't know if it's Everton trying to go after a new fan base over here, as a Latino Spanish-speaking fan base, maybe to play off of the Roberto Martinez connection of some sorts. I really don't know. I don't understand the angle on it. It's definitely not attractive to me personally. But if you already have that channel, then it's going to be exposing people that are watching that channel to Everton. So maybe it's an opportunity to go after a new fan base instead of building upon the current fan base. That's the only thing that I could see would be of any possible returns on this deal is trying to build upon the Latino American supporters of football.
Yeah,
it might work. I don't know, but it's standard definition. It's $20 a month. I've got the internet, and I can probably watch any of the Everton produced content some other ways, and DVR the matches if I want to watch them later.
I just find it a little. I don't know. I just find it a little bit weird.
Just
I
very
don't.
interesting. I'm not privy to the reasons behind it. I can just make assumptions and gestures and gesticulations at what the reasoning behind it is. And the only thing that I can see that Everton gets out of it is an inroad to the people that watch that channel regularly, which is not myself.
Yeah, it's just a bit weird. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just find it weird. Rodrigo Lombello, CEO of Goal TV, said the new 2-year agreement with the two clubs. For over a decade, Goal TV has been committed to providing the best leagues, the top teams, the tournaments to football fans in the US. We are excited about our partnership with two of the best teams in UEFA and the opportunity to bring these games to our audience and media partners. So there you go.
But they
Goal
used to
TV
have
was launched.
yeah.
Goal TV was launched in 2003 and broadcasts Argentina, Brazil, and Germany league matches, as well as airing one live Swiss Super League game per week. Although Goal TV has been removed from Comcast and DirecTV directories, the soccer channel can be accessed using Cloud TV. Cloud KLOWD TV is a subscription-based website starting from around $5 a month that live streams the Goal TV channel as well as multiple other sports channels.
Oh, okay. So I could get it for cheaper through there. Good to know. Yeah, they used to. They started out by having La Liga and Serie A, and then they brought in Bundesliga, and they've lost La Liga and they've lost Serie A. And they're about to lose Bundesliga, so they're pretty much only going to have is Brasileiro, and that's about their flagship. So it's not a channel that has much programming that I typically would watch. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's not for me.
It follows on the back of. There's another channel. It's like an app and an internet channel called Fubo TV, which Everton have also sold rights to. Which again they do unique channel.
Well, I think the key word to that phrase, Pet, is they've sold the rights to. So it's another form of income, and whether or not they see a return on it. And whether or not the channel sees a return on buying the Everton content, it's not necessarily for Everton to worry about. I don't think so. They're getting paid to have their content out there, and it's win-win for them because any person that watches it will be exposed to Everton in maybe a way that they haven't previously. So that's my take.
And you're sticking with it.
Yeah,
no, but as I say, Fubo TV. If anyone wants to go on there and have a look at that, I know there's unique content on there as well. So go and have a look on there as well, and you might find some content from a YouTube channel called Toffee TV as well, which I've heard is quite good. So get on there.
Yeah, I don't usually watch that.
No, fair enough.
No, it's good. I like what you and THT do. So it's good stuff. You should have more American accents on there though. But
yeah,
probably not.
It's hard when there's like none about.
Should we keep on the American theme and talk about this young academy player named Anthony Robinson?
Yeah, Anthony Robinson.
And I don't think anybody in America has ever heard of this guy.
No.
But apparently he qualifies to play for the U.S. and has been called into the U18 team.
He has. He's been called into the U18 camp in Spain. I I think they left today and go to the 20th. I think they play a couple of games against Germany as well while they're out there. And again, it was basically alerted to me. Someone sent me the link, and when you go down to the defenders, it says Anthony Robinson, Everton. So that's where it first come from. I did a little bit of digging around and found that he's from Milton Keynes.
Yep.
Which is, again, a bit of a strange one. I think his
That's
parents...
not in the U.S., right?
It is not in the US. So he's obviously he's got American parentage, and Jurgen Klinsmann has cast his net wide and decided that he wants this guy. He's a left-sided player, left back. I think he is. He's pacey. Do
you know how many left backs the United States have developed ever?
Go on.
0.
There you go.
So maybe he's the hope that
technically America didn't develop him.
Darn it.
Yeah, well, he's, as I say, he's a left back, and he can play left wing. He's quite fast. As I say, born in Milton Keynes, but he's been in Liverpool since he was 11. He's been with Everton since he was 11.
Yeah.
So obviously he's been with the club for a while, and he's been swayed by someone in America, and he's going out to play for the, as I say, he's going for the under-18s, and maybe the fact that America hasn't developed any left backs, maybe he thinks he's got a good chance of getting into the American team, and maybe 4
Probably
years
does.
time being in the World Cup for America. Who knows? But yeah, good start anyway, and he's giving some of the American fans someone to look for in the future years.
Sounds good. Should we talk about QPR at all? Do we care about Harry Redknapp?
Let's talk a little bit about QPR.
Okay. QPR at home on Monday night. I'm sad. I really do not like games during the week. They're no fun unless you're there.
It means you can't watch them, doesn't it? Right,
Yeah.
QPR got to win. Simple as that. Got to win. Anything else is just unacceptable. It is
because the table is horrible. Plus, on top of that, everybody is going to have another match before we play. It could be another 3 points added to everyone's totals above us before we kick.
Yeah.
I hate it.
So it's really important that we get 3 points, and against the team that we're 4 points ahead of, but we're only 5 points ahead of the relegation zone. We're only 5 points away from 6th place also, but we really, really need to start kicking on because we've got big games coming up, Southampton and Stoke and Newcastle, really, really important games. So we've got to win this game. QPR have got 14 points this year, all at home. They've got minus 11 goal difference. This is a team we've got to go and beat. Charlie Austin is suspended. He's there probably arguably their best attacker who scores the most goals for them.
Picked up 2 yellows in their last match. Yep.
We beat them last year in the FA Cup, and there aren't too many changes from that team. There's a they brought in Kolka, and Vargas looks a good player. They've got Everton wants to target Leroy Fair, obviously the guy with the dodgy knee. Zamora Zamora is about 108.
Oh, come on now. He's only really 97.
Okay.
But exaggerating.
Vargas and Isaac, I think, they look good players. So they've improved quite a lot, QPR, since the beginning of the season. But, I think we've got to have too much for them. We really have to. And most players, nearly all players, will have had a good week off, before this game. So there can't be any arguments over tiredness or anything like that, because everyone's had a week off, really, over a week off. So there can't be any arguments. People need to be resting. Hopefully,
no midweek game. So
hopefully people will be back. The added bonus of competition from Kone and Oviedo and Pina and Alcaraz. So really, we've got to go into this game flying, and we've got to win. And every, it's got to come from all sides. Got to come from the team. Got to come from the fans, because this is a really pivotal game in our season. If we can win this game, hopefully that'll get a run going for the Christmas period, because as I mentioned, we've got tough games. We've got Southampton, who've been flying till lately. We've got Stoke, who are obviously much improved, beat Arsenal last week. Newcastle, who had a really good season so far. So we've got teams coming up that are sort of want to be where we want to be. Or certainly pushing for that. So we've got to the season's sort of got to be kick-started. It's never really got going, and in the next few weeks we're going to have a lot of games. Obviously, more games back to back, but they are all going to be Premier League games. It's not going to be. There's not going to be like the hassle of European travel or Thursday night.
There is the FA Cup third round coming up, and we just had the draw happen on that, and it's not what you want for your first round match as a Premier League side in the FA Cup, and it's a home tie against West Ham, who is 4th in the league. They're absolutely flying as well.
Yeah, the 4th. Yeah, they're doing well. They've won the last 3 since we beat them.
Yeah,
and they'd won 3 of the 5 before that with a couple of draws. They've only lost twice in the last 10 games. They've only lost 4 altogether. They're doing really, really well. But we played against them a couple of weeks ago. Okay, they had a lot of players missing, but it's West Ham. Do you know what I mean? It's they can play long and they can play short, but I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. When this game comes around.
Right.
We might be a lot closer to them in the table. Hopefully we will be a lot closer.
We don't need to talk about it and go into depth. It's just another fixture added to the list of what's happening between now and, like, say, January 6th.
It doesn't matter. We're not getting any breaks. All we can hope for is that we start getting players back, so that
I think I'm gonna say like monsoons or something, and fixtures getting moved, and
yeah, we need a winter break. No, but
right.
All we can hope for is that players.
I think we had a winter break in October.
We just need to get players back so that when players are tired or not fit or wherever, they get a break when they need it, because that's what we've been missing the last few weeks. Players, when they need breaks, haven't been able to get breaks, and it's been showing on the pitch. So. We need to do something about that, because the form's been very sketchy. Okay, in the last 10 games, we've won 3, lost 3, and drawn 4, and that basically sums up our season, doesn't it?
Yep.
We're all over the place. We're consistently inconsistent. So we need to get that sorted out. We need to turn our season round, because if we don't, it's going to be a very, very, very boring end to the season.
Unless we win the Europa League.
There is that, yeah.
there's that. Thank goodness for that silver lining. 3 points against QPR are a must. We won our group. We're moving on to the round of 32. We'll find out on Monday. So I'm not sure if the draw is before or after our match. It's probably like during our match. But the draw for the round of 32
it'll be in the morning. It'll be in the morning.
Okay. So we'll know Monday morning your time, really really early my time, who we get to match up with in the round of 32, and just take what we get and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Big thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to David Kurtz of Everton USA, Sophie Nicolau for the Landon audio, and Patty, as always, for your piece.
Busy show.
Yeah. Yep. We'll talk to you later. Come on, you Blues, let's go.
Awesome.
Everything is awesome. Stop broadcast. Say bye.
Bye. Bye. Right, we need to record